this game doesn't really mean much for us, right? We'll talk about Carson Wentz in a little bit, but we're going to give a lot of quants plenty of time. So this game, not a lot for the starters in Kansas City. Obviously, we're locked in the one spot. We're where we wanted to be from the get-go, right? And, we don't have to put anybody in harm's way this weekend, at least none of our starters. But so there's some stuff at stake this weekend for the AFC playoff picture, and that's the last spot. So I'm going to quickly go through some of the scenarios for our game especially. So for the Broncos, so we're playing the Broncos this weekend. Broncos, a win against the Kansas City Chiefs at home in Week 18 will give the Broncos a wild card berth as the number 7 seed in the AFC. So that means they'll be playing Buffalo. It's the 2-7 game. That's the best seed the Broncos can get, and it would guarantee them a postseason trip to Buffalo in round 1. For the Dolphins, so there's 3 teams. We're looking at the Broncos, we're looking at the Dolphins, we're looking at the Bengals. The Dolphins need help to nab the last wild card spot in the AFC. They face the New York Jets on the road in Week 18, where they must win and get outside assistance. Dolphins would need the Chiefs to beat the Broncos. Mm-hmm. For the Bengals have the hardest chance of securing a playoff bid among the AFC postseason hopefuls. The Bengals must defeat the Steelers on Saturday and have the Dolphins and Broncos each lose the following day. So Broncos, all they need to do is win and they're in. Dolphins need the Broncos us to beat the Broncos and they win and they'll get in. And then Bengals need Dolphins and Broncos to lose. So JD, how do you see everything unfolding? And do you still stand by that the team that you don't want to see in of those 3 is the Cincinnati Bengals?
Well, I tell you what, obviously I said also too, I don't care who's in. Doesn't matter. You bring everybody. I don't care who you line up with. We're going to be fine regardless. What I was saying, as far as in regard to like Cincinnati, I do believe Cincinnati is a dangerous team. They started rolling at the end, started getting on fire. Higgs and Chase are looking really good. Chase Brown is an excellent running back, good tight end, Gesicki. But we beat them over the head. And I think they get the same treatment if we play them again, right? Joe Burrow's been doing a great job, tremendous job. But I don't care about any of them, to be honest with you. I think we match up well with anybody in that regard. Now, saying that, I think if you're saying that the Broncos lose and Dolphins win, they're in, correct?
If Broncos lose and Dolphins win, Dolphins get that 7th spot, yeah.
So, you might see the Dolphins in there. I do believe, man, that we're going to beat the Denver. I have a lot of faith, okay? I have a lot of faith in the guys that we have in the room, right? I think Carson Wentz is a very good quarterback. If he plays a majority of the game, I think we should be able to give Denver a good run at it. I really do. G-Pick, yeah, James, I bet Prince Harry goes off. He does look like
he does.
That's funny. But I do, and especially with his weapons, right? Because the thing is, it's not like we can hold everybody out. It's just not going to work. It didn't happen that way. But the guys that's going to go out there and play that maybe have not been getting as much playing time, they're going to go out there and try their hardest. They're going to try their damnedest to make sure they get a win. And I think that's the way it's got to be. That's the approach. The approach is we're not coming out here just to give a showing. We're out here to win this game. Make no mistake about it. We're here to win the football game this week. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the way it is. In the NFL, you are there to try to win. So I see KSU 19 said Carson look for their next job. He's going to sling it. He is. He knows his opportunity. And you can see the look on his face when he was talking at the podium today. He knows his opportunity, okay? And guess what? There's going to be some jobs open for a quarterback coming in next year. You best believe it. He wants to be on the train to get into one. In one of those positions, after he done seen what Sam Darnold's done, and we'll watch that with noodle arm Baker Mayfield's done down there in Tampa. I get on Marcus, this guy. But he's seen guys pretty much kind of come and rescue their careers somewhat. And they've had a good showing. So if Carson Wentz says, I go out here, start throwing the football around, and I love his approach because he said there's things that I love. Nagging those guys to listen to what the things that I like. If he's able to do that, and he control what he can control, I think he'll have a great game. There's still going to be some good receivers out there. I think Hollywood's still going to play. If you got Xavier Worthy, let him get a couple of reps. Justin Watson, Juju, and all those guys, man, are good enough. Nico Remigio, he's waiting to get out there and do some things and show what he can do. So he's still got a good supporting cast. He does. So I do believe that we have a shot, man, to win this game. Not to mention this defense. Our defense, man, is they're gonna be having guys come out there and come play. Ain't gonna be too many guys taking off as well. So this is, when you think about it, this is an opportunity for guys to show exactly what they can do and why they're earning the paycheck in the NFL. So I just think we have a better shot than what people are giving us, Marcus. I really do. You said that we're what, a 10.5 underdog on
10.5
this?
points, yeah.
So we'll just have to see. I'm still rolling with the Chiefs on this one. So
yeah, I mean, I think regardless what you say, it doesn't really matter who makes the playoffs and whatnot. It's just interesting that, going into this last game of the season, Denver has a lot to gain from this game. We don't really have much to gain from it. Miami, I've seen Miami fans, like some pretty prominent Miami Dolphins fan accounts on Twitter saying, the Chiefs needed the Dolphins to beat the Patriots a few years back to get the 1 seed when we won our first Super Bowl against the Niners. And they won that game for us. So it's time for us to, play our starters. I mean, come on, it's not happening. But you have faith in the reserves for that to happen. So Dolphins could get in. I don't think Bengals will get in, but I will say, just looking at it between Tua, Bo Nix, Joe Burrow, obviously I think Tua and Bo Nix are fine quarterbacks. There's not Joe Burrow, and you can have one less of those badass quarterbacks in the playoffs. I think it's great. Even though I do think Cincinnati would have a chance of beating Buffalo, but then that means we would have to play them. And I don't really want to see them in the following round. Not that I'm scared of them. I don't want to see them. If I could get Tua or Bo Nix over one of those guys, sure, I'd be down. I'd be down with that over seeing Joe Burrow in our first game of the playoffs. Especially because we always talk about teams. If you're limping into the playoffs, you're not playing your best football going into the playoffs, then that's a team that, sure, I'll play them. But a team that's on a roll, it's kind of has been on a little bit of a heater. I don't really want to see a team that's been striking while the iron's hot. We're a team that's firing on all cylinders going into the playoffs. Nobody wants to see us anyways. But Cincinnati is kind of firing on all cylinders as they head into the playoffs, and they do make it. It's a team they're hot. You don't want to play a team that's hot.
No, you don't. You absolutely don't. Look, the thing is, man, any team in the AFC is no slouch. Okay, it's not just going to be a cakewalk by anybody. There's going to be some disappointments in playoffs. So you think teams should have won, and guess what? They're going to be going home. That's just reality of it. But the Bengals they need some people to do some heavy lifting. Okay, and so that's going to take the Chiefs to beat. Please, Chiefs win. You got to win. Okay, so they could try that. I just don't believe. I don't think they're going to make it. No. But when you start looking at how everything's just going to pretty much hash itself out for the playoffs, it's going to be a tough run. It is going to be a tough run, man. There's some very hungry teams that want the championship. That's really trying to unseat the champions. But for us, I think we're going to be ready. Whoever it is, doesn't matter who it is, Marcus. We will be prepared. So.
And I think the long layoff will help us in that goal for the three-peat.
It's interesting because when you hear so much about who's coming back, who's not going to come back, who's going to be hot. I just you heard people talking about is Rasheed Rice going to be back? Jalen Watson who's going. This is man, come on, man. We got enough right now. We've been and had enough. And so Hollywood coming back changes our entire dynamic offensively, what we do. Hopefully getting popped back. He'll be healthy from his ribs and all that shot that he took against Pittsburgh. Him and Kareem in the backfield. I mean, Travis, man, having, some rest on them long legs and knees that he's been dealing with. Hey, this is a good time for Taylor Swift to give him a little love, okay? Let him just relax a little bit. Okay, use her entourage to pamper him a little bit. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm sure she can show him how to relax. Okay, have him being taken care of. But other than that, Chris Jones getting back to, we're gonna be rolling. I told you, once we got to the point where we are right now, we are a very scary team. And so it doesn't matter who everybody else getting back. Shoot, the Chiefs, we know who the champs are. We know that.
We're the team that people don't want to be playing, but they're gonna have to, as Mitch Holden said, you got to come through Kansas City, you got to come through Arrowhead. So,
yes, sir. We're gonna bring all the pain with you. Believe that.
100%.
Yeah, Ray said, I believe this team is on a mission and isn't afraid of none of these teams. They're not. None to fear. None to fear at all. So, as much as the team people try to talk us into it, analysts and everybody out here try to talk us about being afraid or not being good and whatnot, those guys just went to work every single day. And they kept showing up on Sunday. The thing was, when they got in a position to win games, they won it. Why? Because that's exactly what championship teams do. Okay, they got a championship mindset, they got a championship coach, their pedigree. Okay, it's all about champions, and so this is something that's not new to them. They are ready. This is a ready-made team. Okay, and they're gonna be prepared. So,
yeah. Michael Donegan, crazy scenario: Denver beats Bills and Chargers gets Ravens. LOL. AFC West with 3 and Final 4. That'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. I've seen a lot of people make comments like, "Oh, the Chiefs, of course, they get to where they get to every year because they beat up on the crappy AFC West." It's like, well, the AFC West you thought was crappy ain't so crappy anymore.
Now, come on, I don't see it at all, man. It's always tough teams over in the AFC, especially the West. Always. Nobody really wanted to play, man, the Chargers, in Denver. You catch them when they were sleeping, a couple of times, but that was it. Even the Raiders got the reputation. Everybody knows what it is.
Yeah, so. Raiders beat the Ravens. People forget that. Raiders beat the Ravens with the Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, whoever's playing quarterback that week. But that's the team that everyone's saying, oh, the Ravens could be the AFC team this year. Well, the Raiders beat that team, but you want to knock on them. Now, AFC West bring some heat, man.
Yeah. Oh, Gardner mustache.
Yeah. But also Chargers, they had a couple of rough ones a few weeks back. My guy Baker put it on him.
Oh, Baker.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.